Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored. This is our off-air podcast where you can listen on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we also stream it live on the Miguel and Holly Facebook page and the Miguel and Holly YouTube channel where you can peruse some of our content there.
Yeah, tell somebody about the YouTube channel.
Yeah, we also have the Miguel and Holly fam/platypus posse Facebook group where it's starting to heat up with all of the Little Debbie snack cake posts that I love every year.
Yeah, people like to tag Miguel in like all manner of Little Debbie paraphernalia.
Well, I feel like every year I gotta buy like at least one new thing. So far I have my Little Debbie Christmas tree blow up snack cake.
Yeah.
And I have my Little Debbie shirt, but I didn't wear it last year because it was like right before I started Ozempic. And that's the problem with ordering clothes off of Instagram. They normally come from overseas, and a large is truly not a large.
China. Yeah, China. You
China.
don't really know what it is. I bought some pants a while back. That was the last time I bought something from China because I bought some pants that I was really excited about. I even bought up a size because I'm like, I know how these work. I can't even get them over my thighs.
Too thick.
Too thick.
Did you ever try the Little Debbie ice cream, the little pints?
No, so there's not a Walmart near us, and that's where they sell them.
Yeah.
But there is one now near where I go to at least once a week. And so I do plan on getting it November 1st. And the Harris Teeter that I go to a lot, which is near my house, is sort of like for quick things in Uptown. Right as you're walking towards the vestibules or whatever, your self-checkout, the past 3 days, 3 different end caps of Little Debbie Christmas tree snack cakes. And I'm
that is ridiculous. Where is the Halloween snack cakes?
I'm like, do it next Friday. Friday, I'm going to go take my arm and just put them all in my basket.
Yes. It's like when you do those dances, you had like the sprinkler and whatever.
Right.
You had the shopping cart where you're like pushing it and you like get everything in the aisle. That's you.
Dude.
Why do they do that shit?
Oh, wow.
Bad word, Holly.
I know, sorry. It's not really not necessary. But it just really is irritating. Like, I'm not even the biggest supporter of the campaign to save Halloween because I love Christmas so much.
Right.
I go along with it. I do because I agree with it, but sometimes I'm not like as passionate as you are about it.
I really get incensed.
But
Like, it's not an act, by the way.
It's not
an act.
For me, it's a little bit of an act. I'll be honest. It's a little bit of an act because I like Christmas. But I do get upset when they're starting to push all of things like snack cakes
Right.
now because that does not make sense to me. I'm like, okay, right now is when you should be pushing the pumpkins or whatever, like the little
Any of the fall treats. They have some. They don't really focus a lot on. Like, listen. Let's be honest. A Little Debbie Christmas tree cake is the same as a zebra cake. They only just put like the little green sprinkle or confetti thing on the Christmas tree.
They're all the same cake.
Right. So they could easily create a little pumpkin, like a little pumpkin or whatever.
Yeah,
and
or
that
a pumpkin spice one too.
Right.
Hold on a minute. I need to look
Delicious.
something up.
I'm sure that they have a little chemically made pumpkin
Hey,
spice.
you-
flavor.
Chemically made.
leave little Deborah
No,
out
not.
your mouth.
Actually,
have-
let me look up
They
the
have
chemicals in Little Debbie
Please
snacks.
do.
because
Why
I'm
would you
tired of
do this?
Little Debbie snacks.
Okay, they have fall party cakes. Where are the fall party cakes?
That's what they've
like-
already been bought.
They've already been bought. Like, what about the mom that's last minute, like, coming in on 2 wheels, trying to get treats for her kids' Halloween party at school, and now she can only buy Christmas tree? I'm sorry. They also have pumpkin delights.
Oh.
I would like a pumpkin delight. That
Oh.
looks like it would be a good chemical.
What did you Google, Holly?
I just I Googled Little Debbie fall treats.
Man, that's what I should have bought a costume for Little Debbie to be Little Debbie.
Yes, with that little cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Adorable. They have pumpkin spice donuts. They have caramel apple cream pies.
Oh, I love a
Wait a minute. Caramel apple. Yes.
Like a what?
Caramel apple oatmeal cream pie.
Mm.
Delicious.
Where
See?
are all of these fall offerings? No, it's a week and a half before Halloween, and they got to shove a tree.
Wow. Holly's been going in it today. Like you started this morning. I forgot what it was, but
Was I mad this
there
morning?
was like something.
You both have been on edge.
Yeah, this week I don't know why.
I
It's
don't
just
blame
Was
been
I
like-
mad this morning? I don't even
No,
remember.
I forgot there was something because I remember I was like,
yeah.
"Ooh,
Look at
girl, it's early."
I'm sorry. Sometimes I just get turned up.
Ooh.
Listen, look at those pumpkin spice rolls.
Ooh, I
With
want a
coffee.
I've never had a Little Debbie pumpkin spice. Look at the fall party cakes.
The fall party
Got
cakes.
good
Ooh.
reviews.
Those are the non-denominational.
These are the ones you can take to the church trunk or treat.
Right.
Yes, they're not too satanic. They're just celebrating fall.
And then look at the little pumpkin delights.
I remember those when I was a kid. I would eat the pumpkin delights, and I certainly would eat these caramel apple situations because I feel like caramel apple or any kind of spiced apple is the overlooked offering in fall time. I
Mm.
love a good apple flavored something or other.
See, look at this. Little
Pumpkin
Debbie's
brownie pumpkins.
brownie pup. See, okay, so they do have fall offer. But see, okay, this is capitalism. What do you put out that you hear the most about? Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes.
Right.
We as an audience have not really tapped into their fall delights. And so
Well, that is everyone else's fault. I
Yeah.
don't ever buy Little Debbie, so it's not on me either way or the other because I just don't buy it. But
watch, every time I come to town now, I'm gonna buy Maya some just so I want her to start the tradition and like my granddad used to do for me.
don't do listen, she forced me, and she's really good at it. I hope she becomes a lawyer one day. She forced me to buy, those little muffins. What are they called? Those
Oh
little,
yeah.
they're like
The
a
little
pack.
tiny little ones, yeah.
They come in a pack for like a lunch, and there's like
Mhm.
4 little muffins in it. I don't even know what those are. Hostess, whatever.
Mhm.
She made me buy the pumpkin spice muffins.
Yeah.
And I resisted so hard. But here's how she got me. She goes, "Mom, look, it's BOGO. So
Damn.
we're getting double, and
Mommy
you can
loves
put them
a
in my
deal.
lunch."
Mhm.
And I was like, damn it. But I really will not with the Little Debbie because I'm like, there's only so many chemicals your small body can withstand.
All right, that's all right. I'll be there.
Speaking
a
of
few weeks.
chemicals,
Shut up, Kelvin.
I would like to bring this upon to the stage.
I'm ready to receive it.
What
I went to the Environmental
Oh!
Working Group website, a nonprofit corporation that basically lays out all the
Oh
things that are in Little Debbie birthday cakes.
my God.
The
Which is
score
the same.
between 1 to 10, 1 being the best score about health, and then 10 being the lowest score. Little
my
Debbie birthday cakes go in at 10 with the highest concern. They have a full list. I also, by the way, side note, I have this app called, I don't know what it's called, but it's called Yuka. And sometimes when I'm buying certain products for like recipes, I'll scan this and it tells me like, oh, it gives me a score from like 1 to 100 about what's good, what has additives, what has like really organic things. And so I've been starting to use that in my food because like I'm not trying to fuck up my hormones.
Right.
So this is one of those things
I'm sorry,
just
roll
on the
scroll.
desktop.
Scroll really quick down.
Yeah.
I just no
Okay.
down the other way. Okay,
Yeah.
stop. It says, there's many reasons why they say it's bad, but one of them says contains the non-specific ingredient flavor. Is flavor.
It's called zebra in a cake. That's the flavor.
It's Christmas tree.
In a
It's
cake.
Christmas tree.
Product has been
Anyway.
classified as having high processing concerns.
Concerned.
My body
I'm
has
concerned.
processed it fine.
EWG
Has it?
calculates that this product is 45% sugar by weight and
Oh.
contains 5 teaspoons of added and natural sugar per serving.
Don't let it get you down.
Contains synthetic food dyes.
Mhm. Which are delicious.
Ugh.
Give me that strawberry unicorn cake.
I don't buy these for Maya. I'm a lot better than I used to be. I was an insane person when I was pregnant and after I gave birth because like I was like, no, anything for my baby will be organic. And now I'm like, it's too hard, y'all. I do my best, okay? And my best includes no Little Debbie.
All right, are you done
I'm-
trying to rain on my parade?
I'm done.
Are you sure?
Well, there will be more parades to rain on, but yeah.
Now
I'm
let's
good.
go to the Little Debbie website where they have fall seasonal recipe creations. Like, who wouldn't want mini pumpkin pies
Aw,
with Little Debbie as the origin of the recipe?
those do look good.
What
Or
what
about
Little Debbie as the origin?
these Star Crunch turkeys that you could have at Thanksgiving?
Oh,
That's something to keep your kids busy. You shouldn't actually eat those.
Star Crunch,
Look at
what
this, a pumpkin patch party cakes.
Okay, that is stupid. They just put two pumpkin candy corns on a cake.
But it's something different.
It
I'd
is
like to remake those Star Crunch ones,
Mm-hmm.
like an actual
a healthy one. Y'all ever see that lady on TikTok that's like, everybody's so creative, and she like talks about people that make absolutely the white trashiest like casseroles. They just dump like bricks of cream cheese and
Yes.
Velveeta.
Yeah.
And she's like, doesn't that look like something that you've never seen before? That's what this is.
No, look, this is an oatmeal cream pie campfire cookies.
It don't look natural.
This looks fantastic.
Ew, that's so gross.
How do you even
Aesthetically, it's really cute, but
it doesn't it looks like a
can't eat.
project that you could take home and save it and bring it out every year.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, look what little Mitzi made at school. We'll bring it out every time.
I'm gonna have these at my Thanksgiving
It'll
gathering. this
probably be
year.
fresh for the next 17 years.
Exactly, but it still tastes just as delicious too. So there
What
you
are,
go.
those what are those owls?
Oh, look at these. These are chocolate cupcake owls.
No,
You
I
use
they
One-
look like they have rabies.
You have one
Yes.
carton of Little Debbie chocolate cupcakes with tub vanilla frosting,
Damn.
tub chocolate frosting,
Damn.
black decorating icing, one package of candy corn, mini marshmallows, and a small package of yellow jelly
Somebody
beans.
was paid a good amount of money to come up with this nonsense.
Mhm. Hey, if we ever get fired from radio, this is what's next. I'm gonna go work at Little Debbie and be one of their. Actually, I'll work on Little Debbie's marketing team.
You should.
Do what? Eat?
Yes,
would know how
and
to
make them
market.
more
Do what?
money. See, I will come up with a campaign to help them make other seasons shine just as brightly as the Christmas tree cakes.
Groundhog's Day.
Damn right.
Okay.
Y'all watch. That's how I'm gonna make my million. I'm gonna be Little Debbie's chief information officer.
What
So-
does that mean?
CIO.
That sounds like one of those jobs I don't know what it does.
It's a very important job where I'll be paid a lot of money, and then I'll be at press conferences where there'll be a little lectern with Little Debbie's logo at the front, and then I'll have like a tie with Little Debbie
You'll
all
have
on
a
it.
pin. I want you to have a very small, like a suit jacket, but like a small, just Little Debbie's face.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll come forward and I'll be like, "Hello, my name is Miguel," and then I'll go by like my married name,
Oh,
and I'll be
yes.
like, "Hello, my name is Miguel Gadakian. I am the CIO, Chief Information Officer of Little Debbie, and these allegations that are being thrown at us are salacious and not factual.
Salacious.
Ooh, I would say slanderous as well.
Little Debbie, sign me up." All right. Well, after
All right.
13 minutes of Little Debbie talk,
No, everyone loved it. The amount of people that tag you in Little Debbie, it was neat. We needed this.
Right.
We needed
Know
this.
that
It's
I-
like we needed rain. Like we
We
needed
did.
this.
know that I see you and I appreciate you and I never tire of it. Here's what I wanted to talk about to start the podcast off with.
Oh. Okay. Not,
13 minutes in.
not Little Debbie.
Have y'all seen the story about Ariana Grande and Elvira?
Yes.
I was like, those are the times that I miss headlines being celebrity
I know.
because I'm like, I want to talk about it, but we have so much Halloween content that I haven't been able to like put it anywhere.
Yeah, because it can't go in headlines. Headlines has to be serious and local.
So just to catch up to speed real quick. So here's what's happening. You know, Elvira, the Mistress of Darkness?
Mistress of the Dark, Mistress of the Darkness or something. Same lady been playing Elvira all these years. Has been like rich probably off of it.
The Mistress of the Dark.
That's it. Yeah.
That's her name. So
You know Elvira. Everybody does.
yes. So she was doing this Q&A the other day where people in the audience were asking her questions. And then someone was like, who's the meanest or rudest celebrity you've met? And she never bites her tongue. That's been part of her mystique as Elvira.
Mhm.
And she just told a story and she wasn't trying to bash her. She was like, here's my experience. One time I was doing a show. Ariana Grande's people reached out and asked for 21 tickets to the show and then to come backstage take pictures with me.
Mhm.
Ariana Grande, her family, and all her people come backstage. Elvira takes the time to take pictures with everyone. And then Elvira goes, hey, can you and I, Ariana Grande, get a picture together? And Ariana Grande goes, no,
I don't really do
I
that.
don't really do that.
No solo photos.
And then I mistake my timeline. This was before the show. And then Ariana Grande left, and then her family stayed for the show.
Mhm.
And so that's all she said. She was like, well, that was pretty rude. Here's where things just get, I'm like, Ariana Grande, you should have ran this by somebody, because there could have been a better explanation for this.
Well, it was sometimes I feel like these celebrities, which the ones that you don't really think read the comments online,
Right.
they should have a handler. But like sometimes it's human nature, and I do get that. They forget that they're A-level celebrities, and they
Right.
just fire off real quick like they're you or me.
So under this post on Instagram, Ariana Grande doesn't issue a statement, doesn't do an interview. She writes it on Instagram.
Yep.
She goes, I actually don't even remember getting the chance to meet you. I had an anxiety attack, and to my memory, left before the rest of my family. This was around 7 years ago, and at the time, I was really not great with being in public crowds or loud spaces. But if I'm misremembering this moment, I sincerely apologize for offending you so.
Oh, that's sweet.
Did it go on? Did it?
That was it. Well, that was
that was
what
it.
is in the prep.
Oh.
I
there
don't
was
know if there's
but
more.
I don't remember. Anyway,
Not
that's
that I've
fine,
heard.
yeah.
I saw that. Okay, so here's the full tweet. I'm so disheartened to see this. I actually don't even remember getting the chance to meet you. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you for being so nice to my mom. She told me how lovely you were. She might have different feelings about that now, but I'll talk to her. Clearly, we all have our days. Sending love
weird.
always. You'll always be our queen of Halloween.
That sentence after the mom thing was weird.
Right.
Go off.
So, what y'all think?
She's a liar.
My
before-
first thought was, she pulling the guilt card.
Right.
Like, how dare you come for me? But she's doing like what's, I would say, what's typical 2024 online behavior.
Mm.
Someone makes a statement, and like take Elvira and Ariana Grande out of this. This is what I classify as typical 2024 online behavior. Someone makes a statement. It's an opinion. It's a hot take. It's a lived experience. And someone else has to come in and go, well, actually, what you didn't know is that there were children dying in Sudan. So, but, go off, sis. And Ariana Grande did exactly that to
Right.
Elvira. Like, she used today's internet culture of, you didn't know the whole story before you opened your mouth.
Right.
And that's what it was. That it had that tone all over it. When I first saw, I was like, oh, Ariana Grande, and I saw in the prep, it was like, well, Ariana Grande has responded and she's apologetic. And I'm like, oh, damn. Then I read it and I was like, wait, how apologetic is she really? She is, I don't know the word for it. Apologetic, but in a, I'm actually the victim here way.
Right. Because
That's
then
what it
she's
felt like.
trying to slam Elvira and to be like, well, I had anxiety. And
Yes.
If you would have just asked me, and now my mom could not like you.
Right.
That was so weird.
Right.
Why
It's
would
like,
you say that?
because it was added for that dramatic effect,
Right.
because it's alluding to the fact that Elvira was in the wrong for saying anything about Ariana Grande. How dare Elvira not think that maybe Ariana Grande was having a bad day? She made it all about her. But you know what? Elvira was allowed to have and share her own experience.
And two, she was asked. It wasn't like she said, hey, y'all,
Right.
let's talk about celebrities that I hate.
Right.
And she didn't say she hated her, by the way.
Right.
She just said that, it was a bad experience for me. She didn't say I fucking hate Ariana Grande. She just said, oh, here's a celebrity that I had a bad experience with. And Ariana Grande's right. Yes, everybody does have an off day. So you're valid. But it's just, I don't know why she took great offense to that. But then she had to like sugarcoat it.
Right.
So she did a pretty masterful PR job, but she left a couple of those phrases in there that indicate how she's really feeling.
Like
She's
this,
still a douchebag.
right. This part could have just been deleted.
Right.
Like this part right here where it says, "Thank you for being so nice to my mom. She told me how lovely you were." She might think different. Like that could have been deleted.
That was so
Yes.
pointless. That was such a weird dig. I
Yeah.
think Ariana's clearly, I don't know her, but I think she is smarter now than she was 7 years ago.
Right.
And we forget that, Justin Bieber had his phase too, where he was a total douchebag.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think the same thing for Ariana Grande. Like when she came out with that second album, everything was starting to go up and up. That 2014 era where she was just taking over everything. I'm pretty sure it was at least close to around that time.
Well, and somebody online pointed out if she's saying it was 7 years ago and she was dealing with a lot of anxiety, that was when the Manchester bombing happened.
Yes.
So she probably
yes.
did have a lot of anxiety, and maybe her side of the story is true,
Mhm.
but that doesn't invalidate Elvira's experience.
Correct. It's
It's weaponizing your trauma almost.
Yeah, you're not being accountable.
So that nobody can say anything to you because I was the victim. Yes, you were a victim of a really terrible thing. Like, I don't even know how she got, like, she must have done a lot of therapy to be able to get past and work past that trauma of the Manchester bombing. People died,
Right.
so that's very traumatic. She's had a lot of traumas in her life, Ariana Grande. But that doesn't mean someone's not allowed to share their personal experience and criticize you a little bit.
Mhm.
And then I think that also doesn't give you the right to be rude. Where
Right.
like, yeah, if you said that you were feeling this way about, having anxiety, which, understandably, I'm sure you're dealing with,
Right.
but you also can't fault Elvira for thinking, oh, you brought 20 people to my show. I did you a solid by letting them all in, coming
And I
backstage,
took pictures with all of them.
took
You couldn't
pictures,
return the favor?
and
just
you
for
couldn't
me?
just for like 2 seconds and stand next to me and be like, smile.
Yeah.
Like,
Mistake me if I'm wrong. This isn't the first time that Ariana has been called out for sort of diva-ish behavior, aside from the licking donut situation.
The licking
right?
donuts.
Yeah.
There was like something in an elevator, and I'm having trouble remembering now. 'Cause
something
it was
about her
also a long time
fans.
ago.
Hold on, let me Google
Yeah,
it
she
real
was
quick.
like,
That was a
bad-mouthing
rumor, wasn't
fans.
it? Yeah, where she was like, I fucking hate this job or something like that,
Yes.
right?
but
Listen.
even that's understandable because sometimes it is too much. Okay.
For sure.
So, but like, the problem is, as a celebrity, everything is scrutinized, and it
Yeah.
sucks. And I feel for celebrities. Like, you can think what you want. Like, okay, they get a ton of money and fame, so they have to put up with everything. I don't agree with that. Like, I feel for these human beings. They're doing something they love, and a massive downside of it is that they can't just live.
Right. And
It
I'm not
sucks.
and I'm not laughing at what you said. I just was Googling the elevator comment and I just forgot this comment and how crazy it was. This is from 2014, so she was super young.
2014. That's
Yes.
right. Because it was our boss, Dan Mason, at the time, who brought us to my attention.
Yeah.
The headline says Ariana Grande doesn't want her fans to fucking die.
That is what she said. Yeah, that's right.
So if you go back to 2014, and once again, she was a child star.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot is
Yes.
happening. And I think for me, what would have been a better comment for Ariana Grande to make in this situation is to be like, I'm so sorry. I was in a difficult place in my life. I should have been kinder. Thank you for what you do, Queen of Halloween.
And
Or
that's
I
it.
could have been kinder. I was going through a really hard time right then. I'm so sorry that it came off disrespectful.
Mhm.
Right.
You're the queen. Because then she would have actually come across as the, oh man, we didn't consider her perspective. She
Right.
was going through a
Right.
tough
We would
time.
have been
and
like-
she's taking accountability for
Mhm.
maybe not being her best self at that time. And then Elvira could have been like, I didn't realize, you know what, we all have bad days.
Right.
And we could have it would have been a non-issue.
Right.
But people don't like to be accountable, and they like
No.
to do that internet 2024 thing where they're like, well, I bet you didn't know that I
I
had
was
anxiety.
going through a lot, okay? I just didn't want to take a photo.
And you know what? It does suck.
Which
It
is
does
valid,
suck.
Right. You didn't want
When-
to take a photo with somebody. That's okay.
Call it what it is. She
Exactly.
probably did exactly what Elvira said she did.
Right.
And then she felt uncomfortable about it because she's being called out. Everyone's
Mhm.
uncomfortable when they're called out.
Yeah.
But if you've got a great PR team around you or someone advising you, you take a beat. You don't just fire back when you're in the moment. You
Right.
take a beat. You're like, oh, shit. Damn it. And then you're like, does she know that I was even going through a hard time? No, she doesn't.
Right.
By the
'cause
way,
Lord all had, time.
And
Nobody's gonna doubt you.
and then you respond kindly, like what we said, and it would have been a nice you.
She is a rich girl from Boca Raton, Florida, which is a very rich area
Mhm.
for those who
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah.
and literally grew up to be even richer.
Yeah.
Like, I think that she's always gonna have that little douchebag, little personality trait in the back of her mind. I think it's just ingrained in her.
It's like a spoiled bratty type of thing.
Exactly.
where
And she's extremely talented, so I'm sure that doesn't
Yes.
help either.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know. The way that she's now, she seems like a more demure, a more classy kind of person. At least when I see her in the interviews now, right? I don't think she's the same as she was
No, she's grown.
7 years ago.
She's
But that little
grown.
sentence with that mom thing was so stupid. Like, what were you trying to accomplish with that? My
It
mom
was-
might think differently about you.
But don't worry, y'all.
But don't worry. We'll talk. Everybody has
That's
bad
very
days.
like Justin Bieber. My mama don't like you, and she likes everyone.
Right. It was like tiny, tiny little passive aggressive.
Yeah.
But I think that just goes to show you that what's that phrase that Oprah says, that money doesn't change who you are, it just amplifies who you
That's
truly
right.
are. And so I do believe all things can be true,
Yeah.
that Ariana Grande is a nice person and she's a very sweet person, but she also has that, bitchy side that can come out and she'll be like, excuse me, what'd you say, bitch?
Mhm.
Before we leave, I've tried to really be good about not talking about politics, especially as we get closer to the election, just because I'm not going to change your mind who you're voting for. Holly's not going to change your mind. Kelvin's not going to change your mind. And we could spend every podcast and we could do a new one every day covering what's happening in the election.
Mhm.
But you know what? My biggest thing that I've been saying, that I've been committed to on social media and on here and even on the show, is I just want you to vote. Even if you're voting for Trump, if you're voting for a third party candidate, I do want you to vote because that is your right.
Yes. Yes.
I do want to address this one thing, and it's only because I see it every morning, several
Miguel
times a
said,
day.
Having said that,
I say so.
I gotta say one thing real quick, just because it's just so vile to me.
oh, vile.
It's vile, and I'm like, there are so many other things that you could address, that you could campaign on. The border stuff that Trump is going on about, Harris walls, the economy, girl.
The
Let's
inflation, all the
inflation.
policies. Yeah.
Let's talk about it. It's fine. Here is what gets me: attacking and demonizing marginalized communities to whip up fear amongst other people that can and will cause harm and damage to actual marginalized people. So there is this ad that Donald Trump and his team has been running here in North Carolina, where we are a swing state. So the TV ads, when I have the news station on in the morning, I mean, literally, it's like Kamala ad, Donald Trump ad, station promo, Jeff Jackson ad, and it's like boom, boom, boom.
And there's issue amendment. Right. Yeah.
It's like nonstop. And then about a week or two ago, as we're in the final stretch, so this is where in politics, they call this the closing argument.
Mhm.
This is where both sides say, hey, here's my final pitch. This is what I want to do for America. Keep that in mind. This is what I want to do for America. Normally, traditionally, that is your closing pitch, to say, when you walk into that polling place, this is why I want you to vote for me. And then this is what they're putting forward as their closing pitch.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
It's hard to believe, but it's true. Even the liberal media was shocked Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners and illegal aliens.
Every transgender inmate would have access.
Kamala's for they, them. President Trump is for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Okay.
I've said this before, and I will say it again. I have very close people to me in my life that are trans, that are just trying to live.
Right.
They're literally just trying. I have one friend right here, right now, that is about to quit their job and move to a different state because since they've come out as trans, they feel so alone. And so imagine when you're already in that headspace and then you wake up and you turn on the news just to see what the fucking weather is, and then that's the first thing you see.
Mm-hmm.
How is that supposed to make you feel? And I think it sums it up best when I saw one of the political Instagram accounts I follow, and it was a journalist interviewing a bunch of, I guess, voters. I don't know if they were undecided or whatnot. I didn't get the context of it, but the reporter asked the voters, if you could ask Donald Trump or Kamala Harris one question, what would it be? And I don't know if this person was trans or non-binary or lesbian or gay. I don't know. But they looked at the camera and they said, I would look at Donald Trump and say, do you see me as a human being? So that's why I'm not even like ranting and raving. I'm just like, think about, these are real people with real lives.
And
lives.
And this doesn't make them any less insignificant at all.
Right.
But they're not even 10% of the
I was
fucking
gonna say, like,
population, bitch.
We're
Like,
talking about
what?
such a small. This is what I'm saying. Like, again, I'm not diminishing.
Percentage. Correct.
Not diminishing these people,
Right.
but the percentage of people, when we're talking about all of the number of people that live in this country, the percentage is very low.
Correct.
Why is this such a hot button issue?
Correct.
It shouldn't be. It doesn't need to be.
Right.
It's fully in our like public talk, our zeitgeist, because they want to whip up fear.
Mhm. Yep.
So I just
Because that's how they try to win, by the way.
oh,
with fear.
100%.
Fear, 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 fear.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
That
just in the future, I mean, like I said, you've probably maybe already voted. Or like as soon as I leave here, I'm gonna go vote today. But just in the future, think about when someone, a political candidate, no matter what party, if a state representative or a state senator is talking to you, who's the person that's saying, here is my solid plan. I want to help you with housing. I want to help you with childcare. Here is my plan. Or who's the person that's saying the other side is going to do this, 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 this? Who's actually putting pen to paper and coming up with a plan? Just think about that. Okay, that's it. I'm off my soapbox.
Okay.
I see that every morning and I'm like, I don't want to get on my Instagram and I don't want to talk about it because it's like you said, you're voting, you already know who you're going to vote for, but I just could not let that go because it's so hurtful.
Mhm.
It's so fucking hurtful. So go vote.
Yay.
Kelvin, did you say you already voted?
I did. First day of early voting.
That's right.
Mm.
And Holly, early voting started in Florida, right?
It did. I am voting today because I wanted to make sure it was a day that I could take Maya with me.
Mm.
I always take her with me for any voting trips. And the poll workers love it, by the way. They're like, oh, what? Because, they're like 85 years old.
Right.
And they're like, oh, who's this? Who's this future voter? And she just is
Yes.
like, it's me. And they're like, now make sure you get a sticker because we have Harold, do you have the future voter stickers? So then she just shuffles over with me to the box. And I like her to see just the process and me doing it to make sure that's impactful. My mom actually did it with me. I remember going to the polling places with her. I had no idea about anything back then, by the way, because they did a terrible job of keeping kids in the loop. But I think it's important. So I always take her with me and then we have talks about it and we try to be open without being like too much,
Right.
for a kid.
Right.
So
Be like, hey, you ever talked about infrastructure, Maya? You ever talked
Yeah.
about building roads and bridges?
yeah, we don't talk
What
about all
about the
that.
Supreme Court? You want to talk about justices?
God, it's too much. But what happens is they have so many, and they might have it in North Carolina too, but they have so many ads running about abortion right now in Florida. You can't not talk about it.
Right.
Whew, we had to have that. It popped out at dinner about a month or two ago, and I was like, well, I wasn't ready for this, but let's go.
Here we are.
So that's a thing that we had to talk about. Thank you, political ads.
I remember my auntie Allison taking me to vote in Georgia, and this was like in the 90s, and so this is when it wasn't electronic, and it was you walked behind the curtain and then you close the curtain, and in Georgia back then it was just a big lever that you would pull down, and she would be like,
Fun.
you see, you just look at all the D's right there, Democrat, and then you just and I was like, okay. But I will say I have voted for a couple of Republicans before in my lifetime after
Say
doing
that.
do not say
You
that.
No.
Well, I mean, but I'm
Well,
sure you can
it's-
see it somewhere.
You got to do the research
Right.
because
Yeah.
I don't always agree with only just down the line because that prevents you from doing any research.
Right. No, you should not do that. You should do the research.
You don't want me to save that bitch.
I'll just say that if you have some questions, come my way. I'll send you a couple of pamphlets.
Leaflets.
All right, Kelvin, how can people find you on social media?
At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram.
Holly?
Radio Holly on Instagram. That's the main one. You can also find me Radio Holly on TikTok. And I really think I might get rid of Twitter soon. Like, it's just become Elon Musk's backyard for bullshit.
You and Jelly Roll and their new block, their new block rules are so stupid.
Oh my
Now
gosh.
that when you block somebody, they can still
They
see.
can still see
your
you. They
stuff.
just can't interact with you. I'm like,
Right.
what's the purpose?
I know. I think after the political season, I'm thinking of deleting my Twitter, giving my old Twitter, but my regular Miguel Fuller Twitter, deleting that one. Because I spend way too much time looking at political stuff. But
Oh, it's just. I want to say, though, as a quick side note, I know the music's going. I don't want to delete it because then someone else can take Radio Holly and do something corrupt with it. So I don't really know what to do, what's best, but I feel like I need to still be in ownership of that handle.
Maybe just delete the app off your phone so you can't access it.
Yeah, I wish you could archive your account. Like nobody else can get it,
Oh, right.
but you're done. I don't know. I'll look into it.
Mine is Miguel Fuller. See you later. Bye.